Chosen one, tonight is not ordinary. Something in your spirit already knows that. The reason you could not fully relax today, the reason your mind kept drifting back to the same thoughts no matter how hard you tried to distract yourself, is because deep down your soul has been sensing a shift that your eyes have not fully recognized yet. And listen carefully, because this is important. What is happening around you is not random confusion. It is not coincidence. It is not merely stress or exhaustion or your imagination creating fear where there is none. No, there is a spiritual battle unfolding around your life right now, and the danger is not that the attack exists. The danger is that you keep trying to explain it away while it quietly gains access to places it should never have reached. God did not bring you here to entertain you tonight. He brought you here because heaven is trying to interrupt a cycle before it becomes destruction. There are moments in life when God whispers gently, and then there are moments when he sounds an alarm because the consequences of ignoring the warning have become too serious. This is one of those moments. You have delayed action long enough. You have ignored signs long enough. You have kept telling yourself you need more confirmation, more proof, more certainty before you finally move. But the truth is, your spirit already knows what your mind is still trying to negotiate with. And God is saying the time for delay is ending faster than you realize. For weeks now, maybe even months, you have felt this strange heaviness following you. It appears in quiet moments. It shows up when you wake up in the morning before the distractions of the day fully begin. It follows you into conversations, decisions, relationships, opportunities, even moments that are supposed to make you happy. And you have tried to silence it because you wanted peace. You wanted reassurance. You wanted someone to tell you everything was fine so you could stop carrying this tension in your spirit. But heaven keeps allowing the discomfort because the discomfort is serving a purpose. The discomfort is trying to wake you up before you walk deeper into something that was never sent to protect you. Listen carefully. Not everyone smiling at you is celebrating you. Not every open door is from God. Not every opportunity is aligned with your assignment. Some things arrive looking beautiful while carrying the exact distraction designed to delay your destiny. And what makes it dangerous is that the enemy rarely attacks through obvious darkness anymore. The strategy is subtle now. It comes disguised as comfort, disguised as love, disguised as understanding, disguised as support. It enters your life wearing the exact face you would least suspect because deception only works when it feels safe enough to trust. That is why you must stop dismissing what your spirit has been trying to tell you. The uneasiness is not weakness. The hesitation is not paranoia. God placed discernment inside you for moments exactly like this. And the more you keep overriding it in order to make others comfortable, the more vulnerable you become to people who already calculated how to gain access to your heart, your trust, your energy, and your future. Yes, calculated. That is the word many people do not want to accept. They do not want to believe someone studied them closely enough to know what to say, how to appear trustworthy, how to mirror their desires, how to slowly lower their defenses over time. But some people do exactly that. Not everyone enters your life by accident. Some arrive with intention. Some arrive carrying hidden motives behind carefully rehearsed kindness. And because your heart naturally wants to believe the best in people, you kept ignoring the inconsistencies. You kept giving second chances where boundaries should have existed. You kept extending grace far beyond the point where wisdom was asking you to step back. But hear this clearly tonight. Grace without discernment becomes access for destruction. God is not asking you to hate anyone. He is not asking you to become cold or bitter or suspicious of the entire world. He is asking you to finally recognize that protecting your peace is also obedience. There are people you love deeply who still cannot go where God is taking you. There are connections you have outgrown spiritually, even if your emotions still feel attached. And one of the hardest lessons chosen ones must learn is that love and access are not the same thing. You can love someone and still deny them access to the places God is rebuilding inside you. You can pray for someone and still create distance. You can forgive someone and still refuse to hand them the same level of influence they once abused. That is not cruelty. That is maturity. That is wisdom finally overcoming emotional guilt. Because the enemy has used your compassion against you for too long. Every time you started seeing the truth, guilt convinced you to stay longer. Every time your spirit warned you, fear of hurting someone kept you silent. Every time God showed you a red flag, loneliness persuaded you to ignore it because you were afraid of starting over. But listen carefully. Temporary loneliness is far less dangerous than permanent damage caused by staying where God already told you to leave. And the reason this warning matters so much tonight is because the window is still open right now. The exit is still clean right now. You are not trapped yet. But the longer you delay, the more complicated this becomes. God is trying to save you from a season that would cost you years to recover from emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and even financially. Some of you are standing one decision away from unnecessary heartbreak. Some of you are standing one agreement away from chaos entering your home. Some of you are about to reconnect with someone God already delivered you from once before. And because time has passed, nostalgia has started repainting the memory into something softer than it really was. But heaven says, do not confuse missing someone with being assigned to them. The same situation that wounded you before will wound you again if nothing inside it has truly changed. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Pay attention to consistency, not emotional speeches. Pay attention to the fruit, not the performance. Because manipulation often sounds convincing in the beginning. The enemy rarely announces destruction up front. It always advertises pleasure first and reveals consequences later. Chosen one, this next season requires sharper discernment than ever before, because what God is preparing to release into your life is valuable. And whenever purpose increases, attacks become more strategic. The enemy does not waste energy attacking empty vessels. The warfare intensified because your future intensified. The resistance grew because your breakthrough is closer than you think. But if the enemy cannot stop your destiny directly, it will try to exhaust you emotionally until you sabotage yourself. It will send distractions disguised as opportunities. It will send draining people disguised as assignments. It will send confusion disguised as compassion. And if you are not spiritually awake, you will spend months protecting things God has been asking you to release. That is why your spirit has felt restless. Heaven has been trying to pull your attention away from appearances so you can finally see what has been operating underneath the surface this entire time. There is also something else God needs you to understand tonight. The delay in your life has not only been external, some of it has been internal. Some of it has come from your refusal to fully obey what you already know. Because deep down, you already sensed which relationship was draining you. You already sensed which environment was poisoning your peace. You already sensed which habits were weakening your spirit. You already sensed which conversations left you feeling empty afterward. But instead of acting, you kept waiting for certainty that would remove all discomfort before making the move. Yet obedience rarely feels comfortable in the beginning. Real obedience often requires walking away while your emotions are still catching up. It requires choosing peace before you fully understand why. It requires trusting God's warning before visible evidence appears. Noah built the ark before rain existed. Joseph held on to the dream before circumstances matched the promise. And now God is asking you to move before the full consequences become visible, because wisdom acts early while destruction waits for proof. Tonight, God is pulling the mask off certain situations around you, and once you see clearly, you cannot pretend you did not see. That is why this message found you now and not later. Heaven wanted to reach you before the attachment deepened further, before the agreement became harder to break, before the emotional investment became even more costly. Some people listening to this have been ignoring exhaustion because they believed being constantly drained was normal. But peace should not disappear every time certain people enter your space. Your spirit should not feel heavy after every conversation. Confusion should not increase every time you seek advice from someone. God is not the author of confusion. When something consistently pulls you away from clarity, weakens your confidence, disturbs your peace, and keeps you stuck in cycles of fear and instability, you need to stop calling it coincidence. Some doors are not meant to be repaired. Some connections are not meant to continue. Some seasons end because heaven knows what will happen if they do not. And I need you to hear this part carefully because it may be the most important thing you hear tonight. Stop trying to save people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop exhausting yourself explaining boundaries to people who benefit from you having none. Stop sacrificing your peace to maintain connections that God Himself has been exposing repeatedly. You are not responsible for carrying everyone through life while neglecting the very assignment heaven gave you. You are not selfish for protecting your energy. You are not wrong for choosing distance. You are not unloving because you finally decided enough is enough. Sometimes obedience looks like walking away quietly without needing everyone to understand your reasons. Sometimes wisdom looks like silence. Sometimes healing begins the moment you stop reopening doors God already closed. So tonight, get quiet, not casually, intentionally. Put away the noise for a moment and ask God directly to reveal what you have been refusing to fully acknowledge. Ask Him to expose hidden motives. Ask Him to strengthen your discernment. Ask Him to remove emotional blindness, and when He answers, do not argue with it. Do not negotiate. Do not delay again. The confirmation has already been surrounding you for longer than you admit. What you need now is not another sign. What you need is courage. Courage to obey before it makes sense. Courage to move before you feel fully ready. Courage to release what no longer belongs in your future. Because, chosen one, the season ahead is too important for you to keep carrying what was only meant for a temporary chapter. God is calling you higher, but elevation always requires separation first. And the faster you obey, the lighter your spirit will become. The faster you obey, the clearer your direction will become. The faster you obey, the sooner the peace you have been searching for will finally return.